Hello guys, welcome to this video, and in this video we're going to learn about nested loops. Now from the look of things here, you can see from my screen I have three arrays here. The first array is qualified students, the second array is needy students, third array is students to sponsor. Now nested loops means that we're going to create a loop, and then inside that loop we're going to create another loop. Okay, now the inner loop is going to depend on the outer loop. Now let's create the loop and see how the logic is going to flow. So I'll create my first loop that says let I be 0, meaning I'm going to start my index from 0 of the outer loop when iterating through the elements. And then our condition, if you can remember guys, it's qualified students dot length. Okay, and then that loop is incrementing. Okay, yes, and no, this first loop is going to loop through the qualified students array, so that it's going to loop through every index of the element. I'm going to create another loop here that is going to use another different letter. So let's call it J. Okay, then it starts from 0. Then you can say J is less than the second array is needy students. So we're gonna check its length and then increment it. Okay. Now this inner loop means that for every outer element that we have, it will be checked against every inner element. Okay. So for every I, or for every element at index 0 of the outer array, is going to compare itself with every element in the inner array. So Mike will be compared against Sam, Mike will be compared against Regan, against Nelly, and then do something for us. So let's give in that condition that we're going to use to compare them. So we're going to say if an element from the outer array, so let's say if an element from the outer array, that's from the qualified students, is also found or is equal to an element from the inner array that comes from the inner loop. Okay, that's from the J, because you're using J there to iterate. So if there is that element that is appearing in both arrays, we want to add it to the students to sponsor. Okay, so students to sponsor dot, there's a method that we learned that is called dot pusher. It helps us to add an element to the end of an array. Now that this array is empty, so it's going to be added to this array right away. So we're going to push, either we can use qualified students or needy students to add it here, because they mean the same thing. So if we're going to find an array this side of qualified student that is also found in the side of needy students, now we're going to use that element and add it to the student to sponsor, simply because that's the student we want to sponsor. So the logic here is if a student is in both lists, qualified for that course and is needy, going to sponsor that student. Okay, so let me use qualified students here, then add it there. Now once we have our logic, I want to console log our array, okay, the array of students to sponsor, and see whether has anything been added there. So the logic here is our loop starts by searching the first element from the array of qualified students, compare it with every other element from the inner loop, and the second line, that's line 8, and then comes to our condition and asks the code, is a student in the current loop, that's Mike, also found in the loop of the second array. Okay, so if Mike is searched against the second array and it's found, that's true, then that element is added or is pushed, these elements pushed to the students to sponsor. Then the loop continues again. Is Jude also found in the second array? If true, it's pushed to the student to sponsor array. If not, then the array skips, or the loop skips and then goes to the next element. Okay, so let's run this and see whether how many elements from both arrays are appearing. Yes. So from here you can see we have two elements, Mike and Kim, because they are the ones that are appearing in both qualified students and needy students. So guys, that's how we use nested loops to do searches or to do loops that are comparing more than one data structures. Okay, so that's how we use them. And if you like this video, remember to share it to your friends, and remember to like. And if you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment section below. Bye bye.